Good morning, Father Helms, on August 19th, 2018. Can you tell me, Father Helms, what is the sermon today?
Absolutely, John. Well, today is Backpack Sunday, our annual celebration of students and educators with the blessing of the backpacks. Today we're going to reflect a little bit about the experiences we've all had of beginning a new chapter of life, beginning a new school year, and we're going to talk about cultivating not only a habit of lifelong learning, but also a habit of accepting God's love for us exactly who we are. In the name of God Almighty, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. I invite the congregation to be seated, and I will be preaching today to students and educators of all ages, but especially those who are coming forward with your backpacks today to be blessed as you begin another school year. This sermon is for you. But I think we as students of all ages can think back to a particularly memorable, I would imagine, first day of school. We can all remember our first day of school, beginning a new school year with the excitement and a little bit of the trepidation that it involves. For me, that year was 1995. I was born in Houston, Texas, but we moved to Atlanta in the summer of 1995. And I can remember going to a new school in a new state for the first time, without my best friend for the first time. And like any kid in a new place, there were certain codes and certain norms that it took me a little while to get my mind around and familiarize myself with. Probably the most important on that first day, which I quickly learned, was that no one in Atlanta wears cowboy boots. No one in Atlanta wears cowboy boots, but I certainly did that first day of 6th grade. And you can imagine the sort of response that most of those cheery middle schoolers gave me as I entered that new place. I think that was the one and only day I ever wore cowboy boots to school. But in the space of a couple weeks, things got more comfortable. And I can remember the turning point really coming one day at lunchtime, when I was carrying my tray with some nervousness out of the lunch line, and lo and behold, a student, I can remember his name's Bynum Boley, still a good friend of mine, beckoned me over to his lunch table. He said, "Hey Travis, sit with us." And I remember for the next couple of weeks the excitement of getting to know these new kids, and particularly what I remember is winning them over by reciting lines from Adam Sandler movies. Stop looking at the swan and the light. That might go over most of your heads. But I can remember trying to entertain these kids, trying to win them over, trying to do anything I could to endear myself to them. And that was wonderful, and I did make some good friends, but looking back on it, I also see how much performance there was at play. How my attempt to win myself over and connect with those kids had this performative aspect, and that in some ways, my sense of self-worth and value and acceptance was completely dependent on those kids and their opinions of me. And I think we all know what that feels like. At every age and stage of life, whatever peer groups, we always crave the approval and acceptance of others. But what I want to tell all of you, my young friends and my older friends, God's love and acceptance of you is not dependent on anything. You are made beautiful and perfect and wonderful and lovely just the way you are. And here at St. Matthew's, that's part of what we try to access each week when we gather together. When we break bread, when we share the prayers, when we study together and read scripture. And it's part of our real focus is to help all of you in a world with so many different authorities competing to give you a sense of life and meaning, to remind you that at this place, in God's love, all of you have a home, and that's not contingent upon anything. Now, on the front of your order of service is a graphic that most of you have probably seen before, and it's our Root to Fruit graphic. And this is our vision for formation, for both for children and youth, for kids from birth and baptism all the way through high school graduation. And we have all sorts of ways for kids' roots to be grown and fed so that they can bear fruit in the world that lasts. But what we've been pondering this week, or this season, is ways to talk about spiritual growth, not only for children, but for all of us as members of this congregation. So we're going to be doing, in the next couple months and weeks, we're going to have regular teaching at our 9:15 formation hour around the theme of spiritual growth. We're going to be preaching, hopefully, decent, insightful, engaging sermons where we can explore this question: what is the metric for spiritual growth in our lives as people looking to develop and mature in our faiths? I think we know, all of us, sort of intuitively, what financial health looks like, what relational health looks like, professional health looks like, but what about spiritual growth? Can we discover more ways to get grounded in that deep soil of God's love so that then we can go out and bear fruit and share that love with others? We saw a beautiful instantiation, a good example of this earlier in Huffman Hall when we filled and blessed these 200 backpacks, which we'll be taking to kids in need of school supplies this year. And thanks to our endowment fund for making this happen. We're going to bless these backpacks soon. But I invite you all to continue walking with us this year and to think about different ways you might grow spiritually as families and as individuals. My young friends, you will know as you begin another school that there's a lot of hard work involved, that grades are certainly important, but my prayer and hope for you is that you'll also realize that grades are not the only thing, or even the most important thing that's important. Developing a love of learning and a passion even to learn more and to keep an open mind is what's really crucial, what school and education is about. And adults, we have this work set for us too, to develop a sense of childlike curiosity and continuing living our lives with a growth mindset. I think especially when life with all of its demands seems to get onerous or tedious, and it seems like the days are just stretching on and on before us, especially beginning a new school year. That we more than ever need to find times to cultivate rest and play, and an opportunity to learn and grow together. One of my favorite poets, Rainer Maria Rilke, describes relationships as lovers being two people who can guard one another's solitude. And I would encourage you as families to guard some solitude for one another, to create some space where you can spend time in prayer or in outreach or in community, doing some of that good but difficult work of growing spiritually. And your clergy is here to help you do this. And every week we invite you here to this table to be fed so that when you lift up your hands to receive the body and that you receive the blood through the wine, that you would know that you were created good and beautiful and that you are enough just the way you are, beautiful and accepted, cowboy boots and all. Amen.